Here are the player ratings and a few takeaways for Argentina then after their, well, it was a beatdown against New Zealand, wasn't it? 42-10 at Eden Park. They've never won there. They've beaten New Zealand, and last week, the most recent time, but once again, I mean, it's so predictable, and this is what Argentina have to get over to be regarded as a truly top team. I mean, they regularly reach World Cup semi-finals, finish fourth, finish third at World Cups on multiple occasions, but they cannot string performances together week on week, and that's what they need to do if they're ever going to win a rugby championship. And it was so predictable that after the heroics of last week, they would, completely fall apart this week. And there's no other way to say it. They were so poor, so disappointing. There was no game management. There was just no appetite for the physicality that there was last week. The scrum got dominated. It's all negative. It's really hard to think of a single positive from that Argentina performance. Oh, I'll tell you what, a positive. They've got the best kit in World Rugby. Their stash is lovely. But that's it. Thomas Gajo, I love this guy. Little cube of energy. Try-scoring machine at the Rugby World Cup. He just gets a 4 out of 10 because he got absolutely mullered by Terrell Lomax. Julian Montoya back in the side. Skipper. He wasn't able to get his team into the right headspace, but he did everything he could, and he was one of the better performers for Argentina. Despite that, I've only given him a 5.5. Sordoni, that was, I mean, it's easy to say with hindsight, but I've got, as I mentioned on the video earlier, I've got WhatsApp messages I had exchanged with a friend before the match where I had serious misgivings about this guy starting at international level, having watched him play for Glasgow Warriors, where, as I described earlier, I've seen him come on for Xander Fagerson, who is great, and suddenly the Glasgow scrum is on roller skates, as it was today, to take nothing away from Tamaiti Williams and Offa Tu'ungafasi and the rest of the New Zealand front rowers. Marcos Kremer is not a lock. He is not a lock. I looked at that selection the other day and I kind of thought, okay, yeah, he's a big guy, 6'5". Yeah, he could probably do the basics. No, not only did the set piece not work with him in that position, he didn't really work in that position. He looked so much better when he went back to the flank, and that's where he does his damage. Pedro Rubiolo, he's not really a lock either. He's another back row player that's playing at lock, and you've just kind of got to do the job. Locks do the jobs that locks do, and Argentina, well, they need to reconsider having 5 back row players. It's all right, like last week when they were in the right headspace, managed to go out and smash everything, and New Zealand had an off day, but it did not work this time. Pablo Matera, one of the better performers, still not great. And again, he wasn't dominant at the gain line, but his carries weren't really going anywhere. He had one good turnover. Yeah, just didn't do what Matera normally does. Same goes for Juan Martín Gonzalez. And again, some of these scores, it's the way it goes, isn't it? When a team plays well, everyone's score is elevated. And you can imagine with Matera or Gonzalez or any one of these individuals for Argentina, you take Juan Martín Gonzalez and you put him in, open side flanker in the New Zealand pack that played earlier today, and he'll go, and I might have given him a 9 out of 10. He would have been an absolute box office star, but on his own, he couldn't really do much. Oviedo as well, young number 8. Bertranu, I see, this is why. So last week, just to be clear, I did just, I just did the winners last week on the player ratings. I think I swerved doing Australia because I didn't want to put the boot in too much. They were really poor. And it's a little bit why there's a little bit of me wincing as I do this one now. Bertranu was dreadful. Carreras was a bit better, but not much. And last week I was praising him for doing all the basics so well and nothing more. He wasn't trying to win the game on his own like you sometimes see him do at club level, because he's capable of doing that. He's got X factor, but he just managed the game really well. He just did not do that. Albeit, the forwards didn't really give him a platform. And Bertranu certainly didn't give him a lot of good ball. Mateo Carreras, I've given a 5 out of 10. Chocobares, I mean, he's ace. He's a little bundle of energy. Couldn't get into the game today. Nor could Lucio Cinti. who just got outclassed in the midfield. Matthias Moroni made some... I mean, there was one break he tried to make down the right-hand touchline and just far too easily got taken into touch. And you could see on his face, he was like, what on earth was I doing? And yeah, I'm sure Argentinian fans were thinking exactly the same. I'm going to finish with a positive. Juan Cruz Malia was really good. I mean, good enough to get a 6.5, but he was comfortably, for me anyway, tell me what you think, he was comfortably, for me, Argentina's best player. And he's had a brilliant year with Toulouse, winning the Champions Cup, winning the top 14, and he was part of that great win last week. And he, at least, did everything he could. It's a little bit like Tom Wright for Australia. Everything sat there at the back, everything in front of him going wrong, and he's just there cleaning up as much of the mess as he can. I thought Juan Cruz Malia was good. The finishers, as Filippo Contepomi likes to put them, didn't really help Argentina finish. Well, I suppose they got one try. They got one try, and I tell you what, for the front row that came off the bench in that second half, they didn't get mullered as much as they were earlier in the match. So maybe that's a positive as well. There we go. That's Argentina. Not one I enjoyed doing so much because I don't like putting the boot in. I like to stay positive, but let's keep it constructive. Argentina can go back home. They can take a week off, and then they can target 2 wins on home soil against Australia. And then 3 wins out of 4 with a home match against South Africa. They're in with a shot. They are in with a shot of the Rugby Championship if they get their psychological mindset right. We will see about that, and I will see you on the next video.